Thank you very much, Chair. Now I'll recognize Representative Dexter for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Had to figure out how to use this microphone. So thank you to the witnesses for being here. Certainly some familiar faces, so thank you for making the trip. Deep sea mining permitting is moving forward with a concerning lack of transparency. I'm sure you've heard that, especially around leasing proposals and deep sea ecosystems and how they would be affected. So my line of questioning is going to focus on those. At the same time that BOEM doubled the potential leasing around American Samoa, the agency admitted that the, quote, presence of any mineable ore body is unknown, unquote. Still, BOEM is moving forward with an environmental assessment, even when it is not clear that our ocean management agencies even know what they should be assessing. So NOAA, BOEM, and BSEE asked the national academies to put together a suggested research strategy for deep sea mining, including, quote, identification of information needed to establish baselines found at proposed mining sites and surrounding areas, unquote. That research strategy is still being put together. So Dr. Thaler, as a researcher, does it sound to you like NOAA, BOEM, and BSEE have the information they need to meaningfully evaluate the environmental impacts of mining, deep sea mining?
For that area, I do not believe so. We're still very early in the process of discovery. And as you said, we're in the process of putting together research programs for that area. You know, I think because of that, it is a little preemptive to begin talking about commercial permitting in regions where there's still so much exploration left to do. And I think the fact that there is such a enormous amount of unknown still there also creates tremendous uncertainty for the mining companies as well. And so for those reasons, it should be the U.S. academic institutions that conduct that initial research to understand and characterize the area.
I couldn't agree more, and I just want to respond to Mr. Barron's claims of environmental benefits of deep sea mining. Earlier in this hearing, I asked unanimous consent to enter into the record the New York Times article, quote, titled, "What Scientists Found When a Deep Sea Mining Company Invited Them In." And it reports that the metals company studied the number and diversity of small animals in the path of the vehicle fell over 30%. I just wanted to get that into the record. Thank you, sir. Moving forward, I know that I sound rushed because I want to get through all these questions. It's just clear to me, I agree, that we need more data and transparency, and I'm concerned that BOEM is moving forward with just an environmental assessment, not an environmental impact statement before leasing off American Samoa. And this means the agency will not have to publish any draft plan for public scrutiny before moving forward with leasing. Dr. Thaler, to be clear, are these the kinds of environmental impacts that concerned citizens could monitor on their own, like citizen scientists can monitor pollution from mines on land?
So I have worked quite significantly with citizen science programs, and I've worked extensively on developing ocean sensor systems for under-resourced communities to monitor their own marine ecosystems in coastal areas. The reality of deep sea mining is that it is very far offshore. It is operating in extremely deep water. It requires extremely sophisticated equipment to conduct. Once commercial deep sea mining is underway, really the only entities that will have the capacity to conduct monitoring will be the mining companies themselves.
And as much as I would like to trust but verify, it sounds like verifying without the use of the mining company themselves, it would be very difficult. Is that accurate?
It would be very difficult without significant partnerships with observer and oversight institutions, observers on the boats, the potential for live feed from the robotic assets that's being broadcast, all of which is tremendously expensive and would require the consent of the mining companies as well.
So I do have another question I'd like to get back to if I have time, but for Mr. Barron and Mr. Gunasakara, will you commit to both working closely with regulators in this way to make sure that necessary information is publicly available both for environmental assessments and operations?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And I would ask Dr. Thaler, do you agree that collapsing the exploratory and extractive permitting process effectively makes the exploratory part a checkbox? My concern is that it may further limit the data and research being done before companies launch into extraction.
My concern with collapsing the exploratory framework is that while we know very little about any specific region of the deep sea, we do actually know quite a bit about the overall impacts to the deep sea. And so there is a significant amount of work to be done from the part of the mining companies to demonstrate that while we have known impacts of significant, often irreversible harm to the seafloor, they need to demonstrate that their specific technologies and their specific approach minimizes those impacts in specific areas. The reality is the deep sea is not uniform. It is very different across large areas of the ocean. And so we need to have that opportunity to fully develop appropriate biologic baselines and identify areas of particular environmental importance within specific mining regions before any commercial activity can be permitted.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your indulgence, and thank you both for your agreement to transparency and accountability. Okay.
The chair now